Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Hello. Welcome to Take Back Time. We are talking about things that help you to work smarter, but we're shifting away from take back time to time to reset so that we understand the importance of resetting as part of our daily practice to help us to be more successful, to help us to achieve the things that we want to achieve, and according to our guests, to go all in. So I'm excited to have a friend of mine, dear friend, and really great human being. Drew Berman is with us, and he is an international speaker, best-selling author, a peak performance strategist with 3 decades of experience empowering professionals. He's going to tell us more about that. I don't want to delay this with a long intro, but I'm so excited to have him share his nuggets of wisdom with you guys today. So, Drew, welcome to the show.
Hi, Penny. So happy to be here and happy to see you again. And I think the work that you do in the world is extraordinary. And I think people need more of you. So I'm happy to share time with you today.
Thank you. Well, go on. Just kidding. No, I'm excited because we haven't connected in a while. And that makes this extra exciting because I'm going to learn all about these things that you're doing right now that, that I wasn't aware of. So I'm excited. You got a new book that's coming out, which is super excited. Go All In. And I want to hear more about, tell me more about that. Like, where did that title come from? Why do we need to go all in?
Yeah. So thanks. So they say that some people write a book to mentor themselves. So I actually wrote it because the stuff that I needed. And I realized in this world of multiple streams of income generation, multiplied times AI, multiplied times, the smartphone era, man, the information age is coming at us at such speed. And I kept thinking, one of my millionaire mentors wrote $1 million check to one of his employees for a big bonus. And he accused him, when he handed him the $1 million check, he accused him of dabbling. He's like, wait, you're giving me $1 million check and you're still saying I'm dabbling? He's like, yeah, you're still dabbling. And I thought, gosh, he's like, yeah, what if you go all in? So that's been kind of like ringing bells in my head of the last couple years. And watching, I know you're from the great state of Pennsylvania, where the Birds won the Super Bowl. And
go Birds!
We are teaching today on one of our mastermind classes the similarities and the differences between a really good high school football team and Super Bowl champions. A lot of similarities. They kick, they punt, they run plays, they try hard, they tackle, they block, they practice, they listen to their coach. But one's a really good high school football team and one's a Super Bowl champion. And you watch that game this past time with the Eagles, and, when it's your time, and what does it mean to go all in? And it's just like from sports to business to my marriage. Am I taking my marriage for granted? Do I, go all in with my wife and like really go all in with my son and really go all in with my business? I'm in a really new, exciting business. I'm like, what would happen if I went all in? I found myself in the financial sector for the first time in my life. I've always come from sales and marketing and business development and recruiting, and that was my first 2 books. And then I got hired by an estate planning attorney, and I started learning about the importance of tax planning, financial planning, estate planning. I actually work, Penny, with a knighted sir.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He has 51 global awards. He's an international thought leader. His name is Glenn Wagstaff. And I'll be talking to him. He's like, yeah, I just sat with a billionaire. We're going to save them like hundreds of thousands of dollars on their taxes. And he taught me some very cool things, like your CPA helps you pay less taxes from last year. He's like, when we do tax planning, we help you pay less taxes for next year. I'm like, that's pretty smart. And I started learning about wealth and retirement. And then someone said to me, well, what if you outlive your money? What if you live too long? And I'm like, this is 2025. Like people can live to 110 now because of technology. Like, what if you're financially savvy and you plan to live till about 85 and you live till 93? Then what happens? Like, do you have a mathematical plan for that? So I started learning all this stuff and I'm like, oh, I better go all in because if you win the money game, you win like one of the key things of life, right? It's like relationship, money, geography, like your home, right? So I'm like, all right, let's win the money game once and for all. So I'm going all in. And I'm going all in with this company. It's a financial education company where we take the wisdom of the wealthiest people in the world, the top 1%, and teach it to the masses as a financial education company. So it's I figured if I was going to go all in on anything, it's a career, it's retirement. Now, listen, I got a Gucci wife. She's very expensive. We want to, for the last 30 years, I've been traveling and having fun and, speaking. But now I've got so much money invested in peak performance and personal development. I was like, all right, what if I really learn the money game once and for all? So the book is really about financial strategies, different types of ways to use insurance as a way to invest, what Glenn does as an estate planning attorney and what the challenges are for a family that goes through probate and doesn't have their will and trust. So I'm going all in the profession. And then we're probably going to make a series of books on go all in when it comes to health and marriage and stuff like that. This one's kind of about finance and wealth and retirement and taxes. But the concepts throughout the book are about going all in with your team and yourself and your belief. And then the book is a interactive experience. So there's QR codes throughout the book that drive to a community that we have, that drive to video trainings. So the all-in approach is it's not just a book. It's like going all in on your wealth, going all in on your impact, going all in on your gratitude, and going all in on your numbers and knowing your numbers for your business so that you can create the trajectory of wealth and retirement that you want.
So you just said that, the book is about going all in with your team, yourself, and your belief. What do you mean by that? Is that how it's sectioned out, the book? And, let's maybe go into each one of those sections a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that people doubt their beliefs and they believe their doubts.
I like that.
Yeah. And I think the true evolution is believing your beliefs and doubting your doubts. So I think I'm reading a book right now called 177 Mental Toughness Tricks of the Elite Performers and Super Successful. And he talks about how the middle class of America, which is about 70%, they are delusional about how hard they're working, how much they're doing, and it's not congruent with their outcome. So what I'm realizing is that a lot of us, maybe even self-included, have work habit, ethics, and grit that don't necessarily match our dreams and our goals. And what would happen if we went all in? So go all in is kind of like a challenge to bring out the beast. For years, I felt like I was Superman. Like sometimes I feel like I am the chosen one in my life and in my business as a leader and I feel like I'm Superman. And then sometimes I feel like while carrying my kryptonite. And I'm like, what if I could just rip off the kryptonite and be that strong, powerful man, leader in life and in business? So I challenge myself to go all in. I think
so. Is all in. So I'm hearing that it's sort of shedding beliefs or doubts that don't serve us. Is that what you're saying?
100%. And truly time blocking when you're supposed to be working. The joke is you talk about golf when you're at the office and you talk about the off work when you're on the golf course. Well, maybe that's not like the most productive. Like maybe just be present, right? And go all in, even if it's for 15 minutes or for an hour. Like oftentimes I'm at the gym and I'll get distracted with my phone. Now, even though my workout's on my phone, I'm still getting distracted. And if I can go all in, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type at the gym, where you can actually like breathe and infuse energy into a muscle. What if I was able to do that at very specific points of my day? Work, relationship, fitness, God, breath, and truly focus at a high level of efficiency. So what we've been doing with our teams lately is we're talking about accountability, structure, declaring your goals, and everything about success. All the t-shirts are true. Drink more water, less wine, eat less, exercise more. So if I went all in on my fitness for 6 weeks, I did a program and it was 6 weeks and the nutrition was dialed in and the exercise was dialed in. So going all in for me is like the next level. It's like upping our own growth into the trajectory that we want and deserve, like an Olympian, like a champion.
So if we're going to do something, we might as well go all in and be fully present, fully active, fully moving forward. Makes sense, right? But we don't do it, right? We're so many of us in 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Whether it's, like you said, whether it's your marriage, whether it's the work that you're doing, it's the fears, it's the doubts, it's the whatever it is. When we do that, so what if, let's say we do that, what are the consequences of doing that? Because I think that's what people are afraid of is, well, if I go all into this, I'll miss out on this or something like that, right? So maybe we talk about that side for a minute.
The consequences are going half fast. So if you go HALF, half, FAST, fast, you're going half-assed.
Half-assed.
Right. And that's not going to get you to the promised land. So for me, go all in. And the subtitle is Your Blueprint for Wealth, Legacy, and Financial Freedom. Like, what would it take to go all in your career? What would it take to go all in on your finances? What would it take to go all in on your belief systems? And it's amazing. Like, we train and train and train and train. But when you watch Rocky, he wins in the ring. But we forget that his knuckles were bloody in the punching the frozen meat in the freezer. Right. So going all in has this like extra grit, this extra mindset, this extra focus, this extra breath, this extra belief. It's a little bit extra, a little bit more.
You said earlier, and I think it's so true, that our perception of the grit and the effort and all of that people are feeling like they're putting in isn't matching with their goals and their dreams. So is the disconnect that they're not all in? Is that what it is? Well, why is the misperception that they feel like they're putting the effort in, but they're not, right? People are exhausted. So how can they be working so hard and getting nowhere?
Yeah, well, again, I felt like I wrote the book for me. I feel like sometimes I'm running full speed on a treadmill in mud, going nowhere. And that's why, like, I feel like there's a shift that needs to happen, whether it's in work, fitness, relationships, finances, like God, all the things that are important. If you were able to go all in, if I'm able to go all in, you're going to hit next levels. You're going to hit next levels of success. And then you can start to transcend time zones and you can start to do more, if a third of the effort, you can get triple your results with a third of the effort in a third of the time. I'm obsessed with like peak performance of like, what does it take? And now you're looking at these baseball players that are getting all these $100 million salaries. Like, at some point, there was a decision to be made. And you said, how come people aren't making that decision? Because they're like, what if? And then it's the squirrel brain and the shiny ball. And if you went all in, it would declare to the world once and for all, final. And even Tony Robbins says you can change your life and make a decision in a second, an instant. And then it's living into it after all the enthusiasm is gone. Like the Eagles right now, they're preparing for next year. Like they celebrated for a week, and now it's like time for like next year, like getting into season and getting back into the mental game and all that.
Right. So you made, the shift to be all into a new career, right? So for years you were doing one thing and now you've moved into finance and peak performance in this area. So what's different for you that now you're all in here? Were you all in before and you just decided to go all in somewhere else? Or looking back, do you think you weren't all in?
I think I've only went all in twice in my life. So once was pleasure, once was business. So when I found out about the international bike ride that I did, so I found out about it in 1996. I signed up for it in 1997. And for the year 2000, I did a 35 country, 200 person, 20,000 mile bicycle ride around the world. And
Wow.
it was epic. And during the years before and that year, even till this year, the summer 25 years later is the 25-year reunion of that epic adventure. I had to go all in. I had to have my finances, my real estate, my responsibilities. I had to have it all in one thing. And then I picked up, and on January 1st, 2000, I left for a year on a bicycle. And I had to go all in. I had to make it happen. And then I did it again in business. I did it about 2008 or so when I was building a global team for one of the most respected health and wellness companies in North America. And this was after 5 or 7 years of failures. And then I just went like on a 90-day sprint and I went all in and I just trained and recruited and lived it, breathed it, and focused on it. And then I'm still getting residual income from that 90-day blitz 7 to 18 years ago. So I was reminding myself, like, okay, it's time to go all in. Mm-hmm. And when my best friend, who's an attorney, said to me, he's like, Drew, you're one of the best in sales, marketing, recruiting, like team building that I've ever met. You're taking those skills into the financial sector, and you got an estate planning attorney in your back pocket. He's like, don't walk, run, don't run, sprint. I was like, okay. And he started reminding me about all the old wizards that we studied from, Brian Tracy and all those guys. A lot of them sold insurance. And some of the stories are they were barefoot on some kind of farm and, got into the financial sector. So I was like, all right, let me learn a whole new industry and let me go all in and let's see what I can create.
Do you find it easier to go all in as a beginner? Like you could really start with the beginner's mindset, right? It's a new industry. Do you find it easier to do that when you're an open book? And how do I'm going to attach a question there for how did it work for you? But then how do people who aren't starting fresh, how do they go all in?
Well, this was a big wake-up call. You and your daughter is the same age as my son, and my son's been preparing for about 6 months for a summer internship 18 months from now. And it's so competitive. He's getting into private equity and into investment banking. And he's been looking for, this is when we're doing this is now March 2025. He's looking for internships for summer 2026. And he just got one. And it's a big deal. And my wife says, yeah, but he's going to have to work 80-hour weeks. And I did the calculations. And I'm like, 10 times 11 times 7, 11-hour days. Mm-hmm. It's 11-hour days, 7 days a week. And I was like, oh, what if I did that now in my career? What if I went all in, matched a 20-year-old energy, 52 years old, no fake confusion, no, I'm too busy. I learned so many lessons from him when he was in Taekwondo, 8 years old. He would bow to walk into the dojo and he would ask for permission to go into the dojo. And then for 1 hour, he was all in. He asked permission. He bowed. It said, I will be a black belt on the wall. They sat in meditation and then they drilled for an hour. There was no girls. There was no Spanish homework. There was no, what am I doing at the theater? It was 1 hour Taekwondo. And I'm like, what if we as professionals just went all in for an hour? We'd probably be more productive in an hour than most people are in a day if you just did that one thing for an hour. So I thought, what if I give this 36 months? And actually, it's his real life for me. Like my son is, my one son's a sophomore in college. The other one's a freshman in high school. I'm like, what if I gave this next 3 or 4 years when my son is still in high school, doesn't need me as physically as much, mm-hmm. and I focus on high school graduation, and I gave this my all, this career, this book, this movement, these interviews, my all for 3.5 years, my all, my very, very best. What would that look like?
I can't wait to see what you're creating. So how many months in are you?
The book just launched a couple of weeks ago. So I've been kind of, even myself, there's always another level of go all in. Like even today, I was having distractions and I didn't properly have like my, 1 hour of focus time. So I'm literally just getting started. I'm a couple weeks in prep. The game is up level every day. So right at the beginning, ready to crush it, ready to help a lot of people. It's all about other people, impact, and become the best at the best version of myself and have fun doing it.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. So I want to bring you into sort of a quick round of, a lightning round to ask you different questions so that people can better understand. I mean, you've reached a lot of success. You're in, maybe career number 2, number 3, right? And so over the years, you've built up some really important mindset practices, right? So going all in is a mindset. And I would dare say that, it's a reset mindset that every day you're resetting yourself to go all in. You have to constantly reset yourself to go all in because there's distractions. You can be pulled in all different directions. I had the same thing when I wrote my book. I had a goal and that was it, right? And it was all in. But every day and multiple times a day, I had to reset to make sure that I was still all in. So let's go through this lightning round to understand what are some of the things that you do to help you stay all in, right? Your reset practices. So what would you say is your favorite sort of reset tool that helps you to regain perspective if you lose perspective?
I like to get up out of my desk and either do push-ups, jumping jacks, squats, or the ab roller, because it gets me in my body, it gets my blood flowing, it gets me off my eyeballs and my screen for a few minutes. It's easy to do, and I could do it right next to my desk. And the jumping jacks and squats get my heart going. The push-ups get my blood flowing, and the ab roller just engages my entire core, which allows me to be present.
Awesome. And how many times a day do you think you do that to take those little breaks?
I'm going to do it immediately after this. I want to do it more, but I think if when I'm in Zen 3 or 4 times, in addition to my 30 minutes to hour at the beginning of the day, awesome. One thing I'm training myself to do is not have my phone next to my bed anymore. I'm training myself not to look at the phone until I'm either at the gym or done, like at least do that. Basics, hydration for sure, and meditation. And then I've been doing some breath work and I've been doing some release work, releasing and doing guided meditations around anger, frustration, guilt, sadness, anxiety, limiting decisions, awesome. And then planting some goals in the subconscious in a meditation.
Awesome. All great practices. And also they don't take very much time, right? They can be done you can spend a couple minutes in meditation or you can spend hours, right? That you can do both, right? So that's the cool thing about those. Is there a song that'll instantly change your mood and put you what's your song that puts you in motion?
Yeah, it's unequivocally, absolutely Rocky theme.
I know, right?
It's just the first couple notes, and it's instant. It's like instant grounding, and we know that it's the song of the champion, and it's the song.
So just so we're clear, everybody. So it's the Eye of the Tiger. Is that the one?
Oh,
okay. Because for me, it's Eye of the Tiger. So all right. So
okay, yeah.
So what's the first couple beats?
All right. When he's running up the stairs and
yeah. When he's running up the stairs, right? I like that one too. But Eye of the Tiger is one that gets me going. So who is your go-to person when you need an outside resource?
I recently have a coach, which is good. Deepening my relationship, with God, which is important. And I gotta start reminding the man in the mirror. So, it was Tony Robbins for a minute. Now I'm kind of into Mel Robbins. I really kind of like her style, directness. Mm-hmm. But it talks to me as a busy ADD entrepreneur. She was saying the other day, the reason your energy is down is because society and the information, the brain can't even handle it all. And with the iPhone and the pings and all the responsibilities. I mean, Penny, you send one email, you get 3 back. It's never ever stopped.
I know. That's why I said it's, more today in one day than an entire lifetime, just 100 years ago. So crazy, crazy time. And that's why, the onus is on us to set those boundaries to, it used to be that, it was designed, right? There weren't cell phones. So you didn't have to worry that you were going to get an email or a phone call off hours or anything. So the system supported us to be protected, but now we have to do that ourselves, right? And we suck at it, right? That is the fact. So in that line, what do you do to create boundaries?
I try to stick to my calendar. I teach people, and I do this with myself. I'm like, if I'm in a meeting with you and my wife called right now, it would go to voicemail. If I was talking with my wife and you called, it would go to voicemail. And then I remember Tony Robbins one time saying, well, what if there's a fire? Well, is everyone okay? Is there the fire department there? Okay, great. Then I'm in the meeting, But, I mean, that's extreme. But I think you said the word, it's boundaries, creating boundaries around time blocking, boundaries around success, boundaries around thinking. I try to think and do stuff outside of my computer so I can go to the library and go to separate, activate different senses when I'm doing different things. But I think setting up personal and professional boundaries is probably very good wisdom coming from a focusologist.
Well, I mean, I think we all know it's just one of those things we all know that we need to do it. It's just a matter of getting better at doing it. Like you said, the repetition of going up those steps, of pounding that meat or whatever it is we've got to go all in. In order to go all in, that means also we have to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Last question in the lightning round. What is one of your favorite mantras or sayings?
I say this all the time to myself, out loud, to my teams, and I just love it. It just vibrates within me. Everything you need, you have, and everything you want is coming. Everything everything I need, I have, and everything I want is coming.
I love that. And with that, everything that's coming, how can people connect with you, going forward? Where can they connect with you and find out more about what you're doing to get your book and hear more about all of the work that you're doing?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that so much. So Amazon is the place to go for the book. It's called Go All In. And I have my whole author page there. All my books are there. So Amazon's great. Listen, I live at drewberman.com. That's a cool place to come find me. And certainly on LinkedIn is where I'm quite active. So let's connect there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you, Penny. See you soon.
And thank you all for being here. I think what I really loved is when Drew said twice in his life, he went all in, right? If we really look at how many times we've really gone all in, it's probably very, very few times. And so now's your time. You're listening to this for a reason, and now's your time. So where do you need to go all in? You don't have to start everywhere and go all into everything, but go all into you and what's important to you, so that when you decide to do something, that you're fully present, that you are clear and committed, and that you bring all of yourself to it and see what's possible. And guaranteed, you will be able to, as Drew said, go further faster. You'll be able to achieve more than you ever expected in like a third of the time when you're really all in. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Penny Zanker, and you're listening to Take Back Time, moving to Time to Reset. Take care, everyone. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.